All right. Reggie Edwards, the Front Row Report. I am joined today once again by the one and only Chris Jericho, one of the busiest men in rock and wrestling. Man, thanks for taking time once again.
Problem, man.
Man, it's 2015. Here a couple months, we're kind of be coming up on a year since "Do You Want to Start a War" was released. Can you look back on that album and talk about kind of where the band was at and where you were at, and what kind of stands out to you the most about "Do You Want to Start a War"?
Well, I mean, as it stands here, as we're talking at the beginning of February, it did just come out basically end of July, so it's been about 6 months. And in that time, it's been the highest charting record we've ever had, the biggest seller we've ever had, and the best reviewed that we've ever had. So it does feel pretty good because it's a little bit of a different record than what we've done before, a little bit more diverse, a little more versatile. Did a couple chances, did a couple of different things. So when you have a record that's successful as War has been in such a short period of time for us, it's very gratifying because, like I said, it was not the normal Televised record, and more importantly, we had a lot of momentum after Sin and Bones, and we wanted to keep that momentum rolling into War, and we did that, and just beyond off the charts as far as the growth that we've seen since it came out. So it's definitely been mission accomplished on all accounts.
What was it like covering SOS, and how did that come about? Because that was honestly one of the best covers I've heard in a while. It was outstanding, and it transfers live really well.
Well, thanks. I mean, we were in a dressing room in Leipzig, Germany. We played a show with Anthrax, I remember, and we'd just sit around, listen to tunes after the show and hang out, and that song came on the iPod, on shuffle on my iPod, and I remember Rich and I kind of looked at each other like, this would be a really fun song to cover, do as a B-side. And we liked it because it's a very heavy song. It's very dark, even though it's ABBA. If you listen to the chord changes, the lyrics, it's very kind of a morose type of a song. It's got a great, almost a Dream Theater Rush riff in it. We thought, man, eventually you could triple that with bass, guitar, and keyboards. So we thought, well, let's try it as a cover. We like the idea how outside of the box it is as well, and it's just covering ABBA, not really too many people. And then when we did it, it turned out so good. I made the suggestion of, like, why are we going to waste this as a B-side? B-sides don't even really exist nowadays. Let's just put it on the record. And we did, and people were just going through the roof for it because it's so unique and so different, so out in left field for what kind of a cover a band would do. I think it might even end up being a single at some point. That's how much people have been reacting to it.
Nice, and you guys were also doing "Eat the Rich" on this last tour leg.
Yeah,
that's a song that you guys covered a while back. What was it like bringing that out and performing that live again?
Well, it's kind of a song that's kind of always been in our set. It's kind of drifted out a few times, but it was on our first record, and I'm a stickler for when you do a show, especially a headlining show. I like to try and play something from every record. I always liked it when band did that. I thought it was, obviously you want to focus more on the new stuff, and I believe probably 75% of the set is from the last two records, which is great, but it's still fun to do a tune like Keep the Rich. And much like Van Halen, You Really Got Me, it's almost our song is to our fans as it is, because we've been playing it for so long, it's been around for so long, that people hear it. And a lot of people just associate that with Fozzy. It still stands the test of time as well. We always knew it did kind of have that heavy AC/DC cult type vibe to it. And, when we play it, it's a great set closer, and it's a lot of fun to play, and people really enjoy it, and it always gets the crowd into it. So I think it's a song that we'll continue to play probably for the rest of our career.
Awesome. And you guys, next month you're going to be going over to Europe for the Cinderblock Party Tour, European tour. You guys did that tour over here with Texas Hippie and Shaman's Harvest. And how was that tour over here? And, how much are you looking forward to bringing the Cinderblock Party Tour, to Europe?
Well, it's great. I mean, we came up with the idea of Cinderblock Party. We wanted to... It's typical Fozzy fashion. If we're not invited to the party, we start our own. And I think at the time last year we were looking for a tour, and there was really nothing going out there. You know, you get a couple offers, but sometimes it's for really, really small money, and you don't do this for money, but you also don't do this to lose thousands of dollars. So it's like, well, if we can go out with a bigger band and get paid $500 a show, that's great. But it's time for us to put on our big boy pants and start, you know, doing our own headlining tours, because that just helps you get bigger tours, and it helps, you know, to become a bigger band, you know, and to get kind of higher up the food chain. So we wanted to put together a tour with a couple bands that had the same vibe that we had, kind of a fun, you know, party type of a vibe, and definitely Shopins in Texas. I both of those two. So that's what the Cinder Block Party Tour is. We wanted to make it like an Uproar Festival, or you know, like Tattoo Europe had that a few years ago, Ozfest, where every year, you know, every version of the tour, the lineup can revolve, but we're always involved. That's the constant. So yeah, so it's been pretty cool with the last tour we did, and then also kind of doing the same thing in Europe with the Dirty Youth, and I think we're going to work on another leg for the States for April, May of the Cinder Block Party as well. It's something we can use, you know, make it a brand name. We can use it, you know, for the next 20 years if we want to, if it starts to catch on. I think it can make a brand something. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, that would be.
It makes it seem more like an event. That's the idea that we have. We want to make it like it's not just Fozzy and whoever. It's the Cinder Block Party Tour. It's a place to be, and it's an event. So that was kind of the mindset in that.
Yeah, I think we need more tours like that for rock. I mean, we got Uproar, we've got Mayhem, and then obviously there's Warped Tour for that genre of and subgenre of rock and metal and punk. But I think we do need a couple more tours like that. I think Cinder Block Party Tour would be a great one to add every year, and in time, I think it can grow to be that level. You know, depending on the bands that are on it. You know, that would be awesome. And you guys are going to be doing one of the major festivals. Here in a couple months, you're doing Welcome to Rockville down there, and that bill is just ridiculously just amazing. Is it going to be pretty much the same set list you've been doing? Maybe bringing any surprises out for that, and it's going to be awesome just being on a bill with all of just everybody on there.
Well, the funny thing is when you do a festival one year, they usually don't bring you back the next year. It's kind of an unwritten rule for festivals, and I get that. But for whatever reason, you know, we did Welcome to Rockville last year as well, so we are invited back this year, which was great, and it was a pretty cool moment and exciting for us. And it is a crazy lineup, and it was last year as well. So whenever you play a festival, it is a lot of fun because there's always, you know, lots and lots and lots of people there. Some of them know who you are, some of them don't. But I find people come to a festival with an open mind to have a good time and to enjoy themselves and to have an open mind to listening to new bands. So obviously we did something right in Jacksonville last year because they had us come back again, you know, a year later. And it is, you know, it is a crazy lineup. And it's funny because and you do a lot of shows and play a lot of festivals and have a lot of touring, you don't know which lineup is which. You know, and Welcome to Rockville, if you live in Jacksonville, you probably know every band and every time and all that sort of thing. I don't, and I probably won't until I get there that day, and then I'll kind of decide, okay, what time are we getting there, what time are we on, and then when do we leave? And then in the meantime, I'll figure out, well, who can I go see, and who can I go hang out with, and who do I know? Because that's, you know, festivals are always kind of like summer camp at this point. There's always, you know, you have so many good friends over the years. There's usually somebody around that you can't wait to see and hang out with for a while.
And especially with when you connect all the major festivals, you know, like last year you guys played, you know, most of the major festivals.
We did. We did Rock and Range, and we did Rebellion, and we did a couple other ones like that.
And so many of those festivals have similar lineups, so I mean, it's almost like a mini tour sometimes. So the festivals are so close. You're playing Rock on the Range, and then, you know, a couple weeks before that, you know, you did Rebellion, the same bands on the same. I mean, you get close, and I think that's could be a way that.
I think last year, you know, really close friends with the Avenged guys, especially Shadows and myself, and I think I saw them 5 or 6 times last year just from that, like you said, just from the festival, hopping to that festival. And where are you at this week? What day are you on? I'm on the Saturday. I'm on the Saturday. I'm on the Sunday. We're coming in on the Monday, you know, so it's like you just kind of flip and flop around and see whoever you can and run into whoever you can.
Now, I gotta ask, I mean, this year you've been with the WWE, you've been you switched it up a little bit. The shows you've been doing were just live events, not TV. How has it been doing doing a WWE tour but not being on TV this time around?
Well, it's been amazing for one. It's been a lot of fun. I happen to have January and February off from Fozzy, and just had the idea to see if I could just come and do live events, which was absolutely a blast. I mean, TV is a lot of pressure, a lot of drama, a lot of time constraints. Okay, you've got 5 minutes, go. Whereas on the live events, you can stay on as long as you want. You can do whatever you want. There's no pressure. It's a lot of laughs. I think I'm kind of the envy of the dressing room, and that everyone's kind of like, what? You don't have to do TV, as much as it sounds weird. But it is, for a short period of time like that, it wouldn't work to come back for TV for only 2 months. It's too short of a time frame to get anything rolling, and you can't come back all the time, because then it just becomes less impactful when you do. So I still wanted to do the shows. I just didn't want to do TV, and my boss agreed, and made this really cool deal for, I think, 17 shows throughout the 2 months, and it's been a blast, man. It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I got to congratulate you on the Slammy. I mean, well-deserved. Jumping off that steel cage, that was, especially on Raw, that was just ridiculous. I mean...
Thanks, man. It was one of those things that was like, why did you do it? Because I can. And people enjoyed it, so that's always nice to see.
Well, and speaking of live events, I think this time of year you mentioned it. I mean, it's not convenient to come back on TV, because especially with the fans, they almost would expect you to do WrestleMania this year if you came back for TV for just January and February, especially with Mania being in March. So it would take a lot of pressure off, I think.
And you don't come back around that time frame, too. I mean, there's so much stuff going on, and I'm not going to be at Mania. So I wouldn't really have a place. And that's, when I come back, I want it to be a reason and for it to have some impact. So it was, like you said, the best just to kind of sit out from the TV shows and just concentrate on doing the house shows, as we call them.
Mm-hmm. Now, the final thing I got to ask, you were part of the Monday Night Wars, I want to say maybe debate around on Royal Rumble Sunday. How was that?
It was great. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And kind of the debate format just kind of turned into more of a long-form Talk is Jericho interview. And we had a great time. And it was an excellent crowd and some really cool stories going back and forth. And Eric and Bruce like each other, so it's not like a political debate where they're trying to bury each other. It's more just 2 points of view and 2 sides of the coin for all these amazing things that happened over that time frame. So I enjoyed it, because, I'm one of the few guys that actually had, my feet in both sides of the fence around that time frame. So I learned a lot of things I didn't know, and got to hear some great stories that I did know, but got to hear them from the horse's mouths, rather than sit at the grapevine. So it was a lot of fun, a great experience, and I know they're doing some more of them, and hopefully I can do more as the moderator / interviewer, because I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. One of the very few guys that wrestled in all 3 ECW, WCW, WWE, which is an accomplishment in itself. But I mean, you had Andy from BVB on Talk is Jericho. I think that was posted just yesterday, I think I saw. I listened to that. Who can we expect in the future for Talk is Jericho?
Tons of amazing guests, man. Like I said, the show is growing. I got a lot of big guns kind of lined up, and you just have to wait. Every Monday you'll find out who's on the show that week, and that's the way I like it.